He should have, okay, yeah, he has the list, right?
You need to open this stuff. It's in a bag. You need to open this stuff. I just want to tell you that.
Okay, I got it. Talk to you later. Thank you. Good morning and welcome home to Live Oak Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm Reverend Joanna and my pronouns are she, her. And for those who are accustomed to being with us, I will remind you that today is the first day of the new church year, and it is also the time when we traditionally change our liturgy. So expect some change today. Thank you for joining us. We who bring a teaching of hope, we who bring a saving message, who welcome all through our doors. Buddhists and Christians, atheists and pagans, straight, gay, lesbian, and bisexual, cisgender, transgender, non-binary, and intersex, all who are searching, seeking, looking for more meaning, more service, more love. All of us gathered here together. I want to invite you to put your smartphone on the worship mode, which means that it's not going to make any sounds, but you can still post on social media about things that you hear today to let people who can't be with us today know a little bit about what we're doing here, maybe even give them an invitation to join you here next week. Please rise now, either in body or in spirit, and join us in singing Bright Morning Star Rising, and remain standing for our chalice lighting.
I fit in that little space better than you do. Can we have the words, please? Bright morning stars are rising, bright morning stars are rising, bright morning stars are rising. Day is a breaking in my soul. Rise up from morning slumber, rise up from morning slumber, rise up from morning slumber. Day is a breaking in my soul. Rise up and hear your calling, rise up and hear your calling, rise up and hear your calling. Day is a breaking in my soul. Oh, lift your voice to heaven, oh, lift your voice to heaven, oh, lift your voice to heaven. Day is a breaking in my soul. We'll build this faith together, we'll build this faith together, we'll build this faith together. Days are breaking in my soul. Bright morning stars are rising, bright morning stars are rising, bright morning stars are rising. Day is a breaking in my soul.
Good morning. Our chalice this morning is being lit by Julia and Rosie, wherever they are. Oh, I really need my glasses. This is a congregation bound not by creed but by covenant. May those in agreement affirm our church covenant now. We affirm a caring community of and for all ages, seeking wisdom, doing service, and living with integrity. In our diversity, our covenant holds us in unity as we celebrate our shared spiritual journey. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Diane Sylvan, and I'll be your worship leader today. My pronouns are she, her. And one thing that I particularly love about Live Oak is that it's always changing, not just today, but every day. And it's always evolving and becoming something new, and we bring in new people, and that makes something new, and it's just, I love watching it all unfold. And it gives everyone here a chance to contribute to that evolution. I'd like to welcome any guests we have today. Thank you for taking a chance to walk through our doors and join us for worship. If this is your first time here, please stop by the visitors table so we can meet you and answer any questions you might have. And today you have the opportunity to learn even more about Live Oak at our Exploring Membership class, which is hosted by Reverend Joanna and the membership team, and will be held in the library at 11:30. This is a church that is buzzing 7 days a week. The definitive way to keep up with what's happening is through our weekly email newsletter. And I'm not just saying that because I'm the editor. You can sign up for it at the visitor's desk. Live Oak has many ways for you to connect with our beloved community beyond Sunday. Opportunities are shared both in the newsletter and on our website. One thing we have happening this week is a meeting of our most excellent buildings and grounds team, Monday night at 7, where everyone is welcome to come for a discussion of looking at our campus through a visitor's eyes. Today's call to worship is by Esther Hurlbert. It's not always easy to find love at the center. There's not an easy set of instructions, numbered 1 through 7 or maybe 8. It's not always easy to find love at the center. Today in Covenant, we celebrate our living tradition, which invites us to take deep breaths of fresh air into the newness of the day, so our minds, hearts, and spirits will be continually nourished. It is not always easy to find love at the center. So for today, we gather in Covenant to celebrate the reality that love is at the core of our beings, and that love will guide us if we open ourselves to the challenges it requires of us. May we accept this challenge with dignity and grace.
Today is a special day in the life of our congregation. We are being transformed. We wanted to illustrate the fact that with the new church year, we are always in beta, and there's going to be little tweaks and things that happen throughout the service. So thank you for that illustration, Diane.
Yeah, it's great.
We are being transformed as we welcome new members who are going to bring new ideas, new desires, new energies, and new opportunities to us. And Mike, if you will come forward to help me with this ceremony. We are going to share our ideas, desires, energies, and projects with these new members. Our covenant securely grounds us, but it also resonates with new life. As George Kimmel Beach put it, people don't join a covenanted community, rather they constitute it. There is no it without them, and each time new folks join, the whole is literally reconstituted.
Each of the following people has completed all the necessary requirements to become a member of Live Oak Unitarian Universalist Church. It is with joy that I invite them up on the chancel. George Tiger, Bill Walker, David and Erica Konopka, and their children, Logan, Luke, and Melody. Luann Hoffman, Ben and Gabrielle Carsey, and Josie. Mia Mann and Dylan Ortega, their children, Adley, Audrey, and Sebastian, who are not here today. And Sabrina Hyde, who is absent today, but she'll come up at a later date.
We extend a special welcome to the children of our new members. We celebrate you, and we are glad that you are here. Today, the identity of all members, old and new, is changing. This congregation gets a new identity because you change us. We are now your church. And you change because you now add a member of Live Oak to who you are. Simply put, with these promises we make to each other, you become ours and we become yours. Will the members of the congregation please rise in body or in spirit and join me in our words of commitment. We, the members of Live Oak Unitarian Universalist Church, welcome you into membership. We promise to walk along with you in your spiritual journey, to work together with you to strengthen this liberal religious community, and to make our vision for a just and peaceful world come alive. And will the new members please say your words?
We pledge with our hands and hearts to contribute to the common good of the liberal religious community and to join in the spirit of love, reason, and freedom that we find here. We join you in the mission to embrace joy and rich connections, encourage growth, and empower dreams.
Let us welcome these new members into our fold. Let us give them the best of our tradition, who we have been and who we are today. But let us also open ourselves to all the ways in which they are going to teach and transform us and share in the construction of the community that together we are becoming. Neither churches nor members are perfect. If you hang around here long enough, one of two things, and possibly both, may happen to you. Eventually, the church may disappoint you, or you may disappoint the church. A time may come when we fail to act or respond to something that you are sure we should have. A time may come when you cannot do something that the church asks of you. And it's not that what happened isn't important, it is, but what is most important is what happens next. As long as we live in a covenanted community seeking right relationship, our commitment to each other will be strengthened, and we will grow as individuals and as a healthy community.
For all of our new members, we have a gift bag for each family. Inside the gift bag, you will find a small chalice. At Live Oak, it is important that what happens here does not stay here. We hope that you will find ways to keep the chalice burning bright in your home and in your heart. And as you exit the stage to your right, and please stop at the lectern back here to sign our big membership book. The rest of us will give a heartfelt applause.
Well, definitely that is a huge joy as we begin the joys and sorrows part of our service. Each Sunday when we gather as a congregation, we bring our joys and sorrows with us into this room. When we ask for remembrance or celebration or prayer or thoughts, we make of this sanctuary a sacred circle. And Apollo shares, made a full recovery from COVID, and I managed to eat both lunch and dinner. I am happy to be back. Happy to have you. And Mom, Michelle Peterson, shares, the Petersons are finally recovered from COVID and pneumonia, and Michelle got a new job. Woo! Becky Gregory shares that Doug Martin had successful surgery Friday but is in some pain. So we are all keeping Doug and Mary in our thoughts. And Julia shares, my favorite lacrosse team, the Maryland Whip Snakes, are going to the championships on Sunday. And a joy from Mike Inyart. For those following along with Rob Sarton's recovery process, the Sartons are happy to report that after 2 long months, Rob will be transferred out of his Dallas rehab center to a satellite rehab here in Austin. This will make it much easier for family and friends to visit him here, and he'll arrive there this Thursday. For all of the joys and sorrows, spoken and unspoken, we bear witness with our care and concern. Please join me in singing.
Please rise as you are willing and able for hymn number 18, What Wondrous Love.
What wondrous love is this, O my soul, O my soul? What wondrous love is this, O my soul? What wondrous love is this that brings my heart such bliss and takes away the pain of my soul, and takes away the pain of my soul. When I was sinking down, sinking down, sinking down, when I was sinking down, sinking down, when I was sinking down beneath my sorrow's ground, friends to me gathered round, O my soul, friends to me gathered round, O my soul. To love and to old friends I will sing, I will sing. To love and to old friends I will sing. To love to old friends who pain and sorrow mend. With thanks unto the end, I will sing, I will sing. With thanks unto the end, I will sing.
Good morning. I am Chris Jarman. I'm your Director of Lifespan Faith Development. My pronouns are she, her, and today I want to share a beautiful book with you. And I don't have graphics because I want you to use your imagination. And I want you to see if you can find in the story how unique and wonderful we all are. So I want you to put on your imagination. And our story is called I Love You, the Purplest. It has the most beautiful poetic language. Early in the evening, the brothers and their mama finished supper in the sturdy red cabin and set out to fish. Anybody here fish? Yeah, some people do. The lake slowed its thrashing to a soft, even beat. The mosquitoes dipped low to the water, and the water bugs skittered on top. The moon glowed on one side of the lake while the sun shimmered on the other. This was the time when fishing was at its best. Can you picture it? Can you see it? Max exploded out of the cabin, twirling the shovel in front of him. Mama next, and then Julian. Julian shut the cabin door carefully, tightly, to keep it safe from burglars and bears. Julian scooped up the dirt to find the fattest worms. Max jumped on the shovel, flung dirt up in the air until a tangle of worms filled his can. Mama, who has the most worms? He asked. Max, your can is full of the liveliest worms. And Julian, your can has the juiciest. Max, Julian, and Mama stepped into the small wooden boat. Julian took one oar and Max took the other. Julian planted his blue boots wide and took deep, even strokes. Max braced his boots against the ribs of the boat and stroked quickly through the water. The brothers' faces were hot and they gulped at the air. Julian gasped, "Mom, who's the best rower?" Mama's eyes grew soft. "Why, Julian, you took the deepest strokes. And Max, yours were the fastest." And the three fished until the stars sprinkled the sky and the water turned dark as night. And in the end, Mama caught one fish, Julian caught one fish, and Max caught 3. "I'm the best fisherman," cried Max, hoisting his fish in the air. Julian pushed his hat brim low on his face. Sounds like he was feeling kind of sad. "3 fish, what a bountiful fisherman you are," said Mama. "And Julian, you are the cleverest. Your fish hid in the weeds, but you waited. And when your bobber jerked in the water, you kept your pole high and you reeled in a fine, fat fish." When the fishing and the baths and the stories were done, Mama tucked the brothers into bed. Julian slept on the top bunk, and she reached up to kiss him goodnight. "Mama," whispered Julian, his hands forming a tunnel around her ear. "Who do you love best?" Mama thought for a minute, and then she whispered, "Why, Julian, I love you the bluest. I love you the color of a dragonfly at the tip of its wing. I love you the color of a cave in its deepest hidden part where grizzly bears and bats curl up until night. The mist of a mountain, the splash of a waterfall, the hush of a whisper." The breath in Julian's chest grew and grew until he couldn't hold it any longer, And then came out a long, velvety sigh. Mama crouched low to the bunk where Max slept. Max wiggled his finger for Mama to come closer. He whispered, "Mama, who do you love best?" "Why, Max, I love you the reddest. I love you the color of the sky before it blazes into night. I love you the color of the leopard's eyes when it prowls through the jungle, and the color of a campfire at the edge of the flame. A wide open hug, the swirl of a magic cape, the thunder of a shout." The smile on Max's face grew and grew until his cheeks could not hold it in, and then came out a big thundery Later in the evening, the brothers and their mama slept, one in the top bunk, glowing like the evening moon, one in the bottom bunk, shimmering like the evening sun, and Mama in the big bed, dreaming of the boys that she loved best. I wonder if we all realize how each of us is so unique and so different. And I wonder if we reflect the love that we have for each other and how we treat each other. Because love is always at the center. And with that, our story is told.
As we begin our new church year, we have another ceremony, commissioning our Board of Trustees for the 2024-25 year. Board members, please join me up here on the chancel. As Unitarian Universalists, we believe in ministry that is shared among the clergy and laity. Leadership is undertaken by all who are in a church community, and some people take on extra commitment by serving on your board. These volunteer positions are important. They come with additional responsibility, time, and effort. Your board holds visionary, fiduciary, and goal-setting responsibility. It is for these extra commitments that we honor these leaders among leaders. Please join with me. For the company of this faith community and for all those who lead us within and beyond this church, we are grateful and offer thanks. These leadership positions are not permanent, for we rotate leadership in our religious community so that different voices may be heard and so that both the joys and the burdens of leadership are shared. Before us now stand those who have answered the call to deeper leadership this year. Leaders among leaders, we bestow on you our trust as you do your best to make faithful and practical decisions on our behalf. We commit to open, direct, and caring communication when we disagree. We pledge to you our support in your work of leading our church community. In response to and as a sign of this affirmation of your call to service, I follow the ancient tradition of anointing you with the oil that has been blessed in the names of all that is beautiful, true, and good. As this oil absorbs into your skin, may you absorb into your soul all the love and good wishes which surround you in this moment. For all that has been, thanks, and for all that will be, yes, blessed be. And board members, will you say your words?
Mindful of this congregation's trust and of the responsibility inherent in serving in these positions, we take up this ministry of leadership. With deep gratitude, we accept your support.
Our board members have a special role. We support them through word and through deed, in thoughts or in prayer, and by showing up and taking action. The task of leadership belongs to every one of us, by our words, by our actions, and by our living example. Together, Live Oak Unitarian Universalist Church. And as they exit the chancel, a huge round of applause.
Today our reading is an excerpt from The Quest for Peace and Justice, Martin Luther King's Nobel Lecture. Love is the key to the solution of the problems of the world. As Arnold Toynbee says, love is the ultimate force that makes for the saving choice of life and good against the damning choice of death and evil. Therefore, the first hope in our inventory must be the hope that love is going to have the last word. We can no longer afford to worship the God of hate or bow before the altar of retaliation. The oceans of history are made turbulent by the ever-rising tides of hate. History is cluttered with the wreckage of nations and individuals that pursued this self-defeating path of hate. Love is the key to the solution of the problems of the world.
So once upon a time, there was a very vain king, and he had 3 grown daughters. And one day he called them all to meet with him, and he said, I am growing older, and I am getting ready to retire. Whoever it is out of the 3 of you who loves me the most, I will give to you my entire kingdom. His daughters thought for a moment, and then the eldest daughter stepped forward. Father, you know that I love you the very, very most. I love you with all that is our earth. I love you to the very depths of the deepest ocean. I love you from east to west and north to south. I love you as much as there are flowers on this entire planet. Okay. Not bad. The second daughter came forward and said, Father, you know that I'm the one who loves you the most. Forget about the earth. For me, it is all up into the sky. I love you to the moon and to the sun and to all of the stars across the universe. In fact, if you could take a sack and put all of the different stars into it, you would need 2 sacks as big as that one to hold all my love for you. Okay, said the king. He turned now to his youngest daughter with great anticipation. He loved all of his daughters equally, as parents do, but he and his youngest had something special. They really enjoyed spending time with each other. So he turned to her with a smile. She returned his smile and said simply, I love you like salt. The king waited and waited for there to be more of the flowery language like her sisters had given, but none was forthcoming. At that, he just leapt into a rage. I have never seen any such disloyalty as this. You obviously have been playing me all these years, making me think that you loved me. Love is like salt. Begone, I banish you from the kingdom. With a sad look, the youngest daughter gathered up a few of her things and left the kingdom. The king turned then to his two eldest daughters and said, really, I can't, between the two of your answers, I can't decide. I tell you what, I'm going to give my entire kingdom to the both of you. You can decide how you're going to share it. And the two daughters, to be able to get that kind of power and money, that was completely fine with them. So a couple of years go by. And the daughters, the two eldest daughters, were having a great time with all of that wealth that they suddenly had inherited. And the palace looked amazing. It had expensive furnishings and furniture. The now queens were throwing great galas, and they had on the most expensive, luxurious clothes. But the rest of the kingdom was not doing so well. It was falling into disarray. The king, the former king, even though he was vain, he did love his kingdom, and he had been a pretty good king. So he called for a meeting with his two eldest, and he said, girls, you can't be doing like this. I understand you've been having lots of fun, but the people out there, you can't take away money from them. They need to be able to buy seeds and buy farming equipment. They need good roads to be able to travel on. The two eldest daughters were enraged that he would dare to critique what it was that they were doing. And they let him know that it was not appropriate to call them girls. They were now the queens, and he was nothing. And they banished him from the kingdom with only the clothes on his back. He traveled for many days, weeks, across different lands, and he finally came to a castle, and it happened to be the castle where his youngest daughter was now the queen. He went to the kitchen, all in his rags, knocked on the door, and he begged them if he could just have a little something to eat, maybe a crust of bread. They recognized who he was, and they went and sent word to the queen. She met with the kitchen staff, and she said, don't let him know that I know. I want you to make for him the most sumptuous feast. Bring out the most expensive cuts of meat, make lavish desserts, but do not put salt in any of the dishes. They set this grand table before the former king, and he sat down, and it just looked amazing, succulent, and it had the most amazing smells. His mouth watered. He took up his fork and took a bite, and then took another bite, and then took another bite, but it was completely tasteless because there was no salt. And then it all came falling down on him, and he realized what his daughter had been saying when she said very simply, I love you like salt, because love, like salt, flavors everything. He began to weep. His daughter was looking through a crack in the door, and she came in, and he apologized, and she forgave, and they embraced. And to a certain extent, they lived happily ever after. This summer, Unitarian Universalists across the country, including some of the delegates who are members of our church, made a big decision. They changed the way that we articulate our faith. Since 1985, we had been using what was called the 7 principles. Now we have a set of values: justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. And at the center is love. And in our bylaws, it now says, love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. Okay, So what does that mean exactly? That love is at the center of our faith. I've had an old childhood ditty kind of bouncing around my head as I've been thinking about that. I know that you know this one, the one about two people and they're sitting in a tree, K-I-S-S-I-N-G, first comes love. We're going to hold off on the marriage and baby carriage. I leave that to you, our Director of Lifespan Faith Development, for our comprehensive sexuality classes called OWL. First comes love. What happens if we embrace a discipline where the first thing that we do is we start at love? I'm not going to go through all of those different values with this because those are going to be our themes for the year. We're going to have a month to really dive into each one of those values. But I'm going to take just one as an example. Interdependence. Interdependence, if it is void of any context, if we are just starting straight with it, it could very easily fall into simply quid pro quo, or worse. Here's an example. We have a neighbor, all of us. We got a neighbor, and we've noticed that his lawn he has not been mowing it at all. It is like thigh high at this point, and we know that that doesn't just affect him, but like that affects our property values too, right? So devoid of any sort of context and just making interdependence the starting point, we call up the HOA, the Homeowners Association, triangulate them in. Hey, can you do something about this guy? But if we start with love, then I think most likely we would go over, right? And we'd start by knocking on the door. Hey, how are things going? They are not going well at all. You find out that one of their kids is in the hospital. And he and his spouse, they are trying to balance jobs and taking care of their other kids and making sure they get home from school on time and helping them with their homework, and somehow also making sure that one of them is at the hospital with their child at all times. And you can tell that it's just not working. They are at a breaking point. So you go mow the darn lawn yourself. And then you meet with some of the other neighbors in the area. Let them know what's going on. And y'all together work out a plan where you can have a schedule where some of y'all are picking up their kids from school. Other people are bringing over some casseroles or dinner. And you are giving them the message that they do not have to go through this alone. And you're not doing this for any kind of quid pro quo, but it does serve as a reminder to you that yes, we all go through hard things in life. Life can be so very difficult, but we don't have to go through it alone. This is what happens if love comes first. It should change and shape everything that comes after it. Now, there are so many different definitions of love, you know, from pop songs to everything else. I find one of the best experts on this to be the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He spoke about love so much in his writings, in his sermons, in his speeches, and he had certain key phrases that obviously meant a lot to him because he would repeat them. You can find them in different places. And one of them was emotional bosh. As in, when I say love, I don't mean emotional bosh. Here's some of the things that he has said. He said, I'm not talking about emotional bosh when I talk about love. I'm talking about a strong, demanding love. And he often would specifically focus on that type of love that is called in the religious world agape. And he explained it as agape is something of the understanding, creative, redemptive goodwill for all men. It is a love that seeks nothing in return. It is an overflowing love. Now, he was also pragmatic. In some other places, he would say, because he was a Christian, he would say, I'm really glad that Jesus said, love your enemies, not like your enemies, because I'm not sure I could do the latter one. But love, especially when it is in the framework of the idea of wanting wholeness, wanting shalom for all people, that's something I think that we can get behind. There was a video that I saw recently that I think really illustrates this idea of what it can look like if we put love first, and how we can still have those things that come afterwards, like justice, like speaking our piece, like fighting if we need to. Those can still happen. But the other person may be more receptive when we start with love.
So I just had an interaction with my new neighbor, and at one point he looks at me, he goes, I bet you're a tree hugger, aren't you? And I want to tell you what I said versus what I wish I would have said. What I said was, haha, yeah, I'm a tree hugger. Just laughed it off. And I could tell after that things felt tense. You ever get that spidey sense of like something is amiss, somebody's getting defensive, I'm not really sure why or what I did wrong, but this conversation feels like it's about to go to a weird spot. It didn't in this case. It was very polite, very cordial, but I could tell there was some hackles rustling, you know? So here's what I wish I would have said. Yeah, I'm a tree hugger. I have pretty strong political opinions, but you know what? Before anything else, I'm your neighbor, and you matter to me, and I'm really glad to get to know you and be in each other's lives. It's okay to have political opinions, strong political opinions, but somewhere along the way, we lost the love. We lost the love, and I'm tired of not loving. You matter to me. I care about you. I'm here for you. If you need a cup of sugar at 9 p.m., you come knock on my door. I got you. We can talk about politics all day long. I love talking about politics. But first and foremost, we gotta be a community. And I want you to know that I'm committed to that no matter what we discuss, no matter how much we disagree. I want you to know that I wanna be a decent person and I wanna do right by you. Once you establish the basis that the relationship is resilient and you are not my enemy, you are my neighbor, then you can get into it. But if you get into it before you establish that, it's likely just going to erode the relationship and make things real awkward, especially if you live across the street from each other. So I think the next time someone calls me a tree hugger, which is likely because I live in a rural area in a purple state, I'm going to say, yeah, I am a tree hugger. I care about justice. I care about equality. I care about the environment. I care about all those things. But at my core, I care about love, radical, impactful, powerful love. I care that you matter to me. That you're a human, I'm a human. Let's meet each other in our humanity.
First comes love. This last 8 years has been very difficult. I know of many people who virtually have no contact with their families of origin anymore because of it. But I also know of people who are so completely diametrically opposed to the views that, say, their parents have, but underneath it all, there is still a love. When you have that love, you can have the hard conversations. When you have that understanding, as she said, of the resilience of love. Now, it's not always going to work. Perfect example of that is we have a UU up in Denton, Texas, who has a trans child. And the mother is very much an activist, and several years ago, she invited Ken Paxton to come have dinner with them. And he did. The newspapers covered it. Apparently, it was really lovely. And then Ken Paxton continued to do all of the hateful things that he has done against trans individuals. I wish I could tell you love will always work. Sometimes it won't. But I do think that there is a value in knowing for ourselves that we did everything we could to try and stay in community with someone and try and change their minds through love. I think that when salt is plentiful, we just take it for granted, right? We think of it maybe as seasoning. Oh, this is too salty, or maybe it needs a little more salt. Several years ago, my dad was in bad health, and I flew out to help my mom with him. We took him to a doctor. That evening, we got a phone call telling us, you need to call an ambulance right now. His sodium was so low that had he not gone into the hospital, he could have died that night. In point of fact, we actually need salt to live. And I would argue we need love to live. If you put love first, what kind of difference will it make in the world, in this church, and in you? I invite you to join me in a moment of reflection in words and in silence. Make yourself a little more comfortable. Close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that as you go inward. These words are by Randolph Becker, and it is titled, In the Face of Fear. Anytime, Friday evening, Sunday morning, Monday afternoon, any place, Paris, Beirut, Baghdad, West Bank, Chad, Cameroon, Lebanon, Syria, Somalia, Sinai, Winder, Georgia, any number, 132, 19, 2, 43, 1, 228, 10, 4. Fear invites new participants to its dance of death. But every time, in every place, numbers beyond counting rise up and say, no to fear, no to hate, no to death, and yes to hope, yes to love, yes to life. May we, now or any time, here or anywhere, alone or with any number of others, focus on affirming what we love, what we cherish, what inspires us no matter what, putting fear on notice that our hearts, minds, and spirits will not accept its invitation, for that is what faith is, focusing on what one affirms in the face of fear. Let's hold that for a moment in silence. Amen, and blessed be. And would you please sing with me?
Sing in my heart.
tradition of the free church. Our church and community outreach are supported not from an outside source, but from within. We invite you to make a financial contribution to help sustain this church's vital work, knowing that every gift, large and small, is appreciated and carefully used in service to our mission. The QR code and text information for donations is available in the seat back pocket in front of you. If you would like to donate by credit card, Apple, or Google Pay, someone from stewardship can assist you near the kitchen after the service. As the ushers come forward to receive the offering, I invite you to say with me these words. We are building beloved community. There it is. A community with our labor and our treasure. With gratitude,
I love you like salt.
Your invitation to the Faith Development Hour. So today was really cool because we started the kids program at 9 a.m. this morning. We had awesome adult volunteers. Yay! We had kids. So going forward, just so you know, preschool through first grade are having RE at 9 a.m. to 9:45 in room 111 with their awesome team. And we have our second graders through our fifth graders that had RE upstairs in 201 with their awesome leaders. They had magnifying glasses and we're out exploring today. It was really cool as they learn and grow. And now, what are they going to do now? So let me explain it to you. So right now, coming after this, the Faith and Development is for the adults today. Well, I'm going to back up a little bit because I heard there's cake after the service. Just saying. So cake in the fellowship hall. So Faith Development for the adults starts at 11:30 in the Common Ground building. And it is hospice. We're working in conjunction with Shirley. And we have a program sponsored by the Hospice of Austin to learn about advanced care planning. It's never too early. And they're going to have a great program for you out there. If that's not your thing for today, we also have our Faith Development tabletop discussion where there are some really interesting questions to delve deeper into what Reverend Joanna was talking about today. And we invite you to grab an activity and sit down with other folks and dive into those questions. Our youth will meet in room 209 at 11:15 to 12:15. And Exploring membership is at 11:30 in the library. You have so many options. It's so cool. All right. Dun, dun, dun. I know, right? You're like, what's that? Pigs are flying, people. Are you ready? Whoop, whoop. I'm throwing it. Yay. So we're going to teach you. So Reverend Joanna told you that we're starting to learn about the values, that's going to be our monthly theme as we go forward this year. And so we're going to start with, well, what are the values? Well, Bill and I are going to teach you a song that I guarantee you will not forget what our new values are after learning this song today. And I have to admit, when I watch Reverend Joanna up here going, justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity, you know what I know she's saying in her head? Jet pig. Jet pig. Bill's going to sing the song for us, but he's going to lead us in our part. We're going to learn our part first. Are you ready?
So at a couple of, whoa. There's a present microphone. Good, thank you. At a couple of points, we're going to repeat the words jet pig, jet pig.
Your turn. Ready? Jet pig.
Okay, so here's how the chorus ends up, okay? Can I have the guitar too? Here it is. Jet pig, fun way to learn about the values that we share. Jet pig, now we can share the UU values anywhere. Right? You got that? Keep an eye on her. She'll get you going. All right.
I'm going to watch him.
We are UUs, and I'm proud to be one. Anyone can join us, we often say. But a question comes, and it can be hard to answer. What do UUs believe anyway? At the core of our faith, we build a place where love is centered in our lives, and have a friend to help us remember. 6 values that UUs have identified. Jet pig, it's a fun way to learn about the values that we share. Here we go. Jet pig, now we can share our UU values anywhere. We value justice as a force of change. We vote, speak up, and act with care. So J is for justice, and will always be the best way to ensure equality. And that leads to E. E is for equity. Folks should always have their daily needs, like food and heat and cooling water and work and housing, and making sure the air is clean to breathe. So what's with T? It's transformation. That's a big word that just means all things can change. And when you change with love in your focus, you can't go back from where you came. Here we go. Jet pig, it's a fun way to learn about the values that we share. Jet pig, and now we can share our UU values anywhere. A pig starts with P, and that's for pluralism. There's more than just one single way to be. Our world grows rich when we remember and respect the differences is the key. And that's on to I. Now that's interdependence. That means we're all wrapped tightly in a ball. Our friends are family and we share the earth. We need to work as one to care for all. And last there's G. That's generosity. The more you give, the more comes back to you. we give to grow the love that flows from hand to hand and all around the globe. Jet big, and that's the fun way to learn about the values that we share. Here it comes again. Jet big, now we can share our UU values anywhere. One more time, here we go. Jet big, and now we can share our UU values anywhere.
Thank you, Bill. And I just want to say that was written by a RE program. The kids helped write it with a DRE up north, and I can't remember the name of the church, I'll be honest with you. So welcome to Faith Development.
Well, it's time for us to extinguish our chalice, so if I could have Julia and Rosie, or one of you, both of you, however you want to do it. We extinguish the flame here that it might glow gently in our hearts. May it light your path as you leave this place. May it guide your way until we are together again. It's been a gift to be together today. If you are comfortable doing so, please spend the next 5 minutes talking with someone you don't know. Members, be sure to introduce yourselves to any first-time visitors. They're the ones with the handwritten name tags. And show them where the visitors' table and the coffee are. That's very important. And the cake. I heard there's cake. And may we all know the blessings of fellowship.